So, first off, if you don't mind sharing your name, the name of your film, and just talk a little bit about how that creation process went.
Um, so so the name's Diego Ramos. I'm the writer director of Rock of the Dead. Um, how this thing went about, it's a film that I had in mind for for many years. It's I made the short as a proof of concept to eventually turn it into a feature because I wrote it as a feature first, and um, and then I figured, okay, well, let's make it into a short first so people can see, hey, imagine this but bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm very much inspired by all kinds of the heavy metal music that I listen to, and in particular the big four of thrash metal. Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax, and also films like the George A. Romero Dead trilogy, the Evil Dead films, and also somewhat inspired by Edgar Wright's style of writing directing, which is very witty, very fast. That's what I like.
Hmm.
So yeah, basically a lot of things like
Nice, nice.
went into how do you say inspiring this film out of me. And yeah.
No, awesome, awesome. Um, Talk to me a little bit about kind of how the idea of Rock of the Dead came to you.
Well, the original idea was that it was a band that wanted to make it big, and they unknowingly sold their souls to the devil because heavy metal music
Yeah.
and demonic stuff is very common, whether it's in the themes of the lyrics or just people thinking that it's the devil's music. So I
Hmm.
figured, oh, I want to have fun with that concept. And but then eventually I was thinking, but then eventually I was just watching um The Walking Dead one day, and I figured, imagine a metal band that just has to fight zombies. Like, how metal is that? Like, what's the most metal thing I could do in a film about a metal band that isn't a biopic? So I figured they can either fight demons or they can fight zombies. Now, them being in a metal band, I don't think they would want to fight the demons. They would want to join the demons. So I figured I'll just make them fight zombies and see what's that. And it actually turned up being better for the writing process because with the original idea, I was having so really bad writer's block. I just didn't know how to do it. But when I brought in zombies, that's when I was like, oh, it clicked. I know
Awesome.
exactly what I want to do.
Awesome, awesome. I love that, man. One thing about the film that I found really impressive was well, I guess two things, but was the music, like the music quality and the makeup. I found the makeup super impressive. So just talk to me a little bit about like how the process went with makeup, or like if there was any issues with that or how you came about finding someone to do that and about the musics that like you chose to put into the film.
So so when it comes to makeup, like basically everyone that I worked on this film with, it's people that I either met on other sets or I met at film school. So I just kind of called them all up and said, "Hey, let's make this film." So, so the two makeup people, their special effects makeup. That's what they specify with, and I was already friends with them for a while, so they happily came in and helped with that. Um, there wasn't any real issues. The only thing is the scene where the zombie gets his arm cut off and then blood splatters out. Since we were shooting in a very old Victorian Gothic expensive house, we didn't want to get stains all over it. So it was kind of like that part was very nerve wracking. All like, all right, let's try not to spill blood all over this ancient, expensive, possibly haunted stuff. So that was like the most trouble we had with
Mhm.
makeup, but it really wasn't too bad. The whole makeup process was very smooth, very fast because the makeup artists that I got, both of them, they're just incredible. And
Awesome.
as far as the music goes, so one of the actors in the film, the one that plays the bass player, um, his name is James, and he has his own metal band. So so I told him like so I asked him, hey, how would you and your band like to compose music for this? And also all that music you're hearing is from him and his band.
Wow. Wow. What's the name of his band?
It's called Polly.
Ollie. Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
No, I loved it because I like the music especially because like I'm not one who's super big into metal, but I like hearing it, you know, and I was hearing those
yeah,
songs. I was like, oh, I've never heard these before, like, but they fit the vibes of like the scenes that they were in so well. It was kind of giving me almost it was like it's funny you mentioned like Evil Dead, like it was kind of giving me like Evil Dead meets like School of Rock, which like I love so much, so
nice.
much. Um, well, as we get to the end of this, Diego, I just want to ask, are there any future productions or projects that you are working on that you feel comfortable talking about or anything? And where can people find those?
Well, all the stuff we have that is finished, that can be found in the Tag Movie Productions website. But as far as upcoming stuff is, we have a lot of um projects in post. Like we have a mini series coming out called Welcome to Steelstown, and I recently directed a film called Waltz World, which is like a Muppet Sesame Street style thing with humans and puppets, and that one is still in post. And right now we're also in pre-production for like three other projects. One of them is called Susan Serenity Spa, and the other one is we're trying to make a pilot, like a pilot proof of concept thing for like a TV show. So most of that stuff is either in pre or post, but anything that is released can be found in the Tag Movie Productions website.
And what is it? Tagmovieproductions.com.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Any are there any Instagram accounts or anything that are linked with you or any other YouTube accounts that are linked with you?
So the Tag Movie Productions has its own Instagram and uh, YouTube channels.
Okay.
We also have a Studio 918, which which that's a collaborator that we frequently collaborate with in pretty much all of our projects. Also has their own YouTube channel, but no Instagram page. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, Diego, unless you have any other questions for me, I just want to say again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk with me. It was great having you. It was great getting some insight from you on your film as well. I just want to say thank you again for submitting your work also into the Trill Visions Film Festival,
Thank
and
you.
we're excited to expose that to everyone.
Oh, of course, thank you.
Of course, thank you.